committing to an outcome through payment drastically increases the likelihood that you will achieve whatever the outcome is that you want. But it might not necessarily be for the exact reason you are thinking. So I'm going to give you one story today of what I experienced today that demonstrates this purpose and the reason I'm thinking about. And the second one is going to be the opposite of why not paying makes it less likely than if you had paid. So, first one, we've just come back from taking our kitten to a post-operation, post-spay checkup to see, did it all go well? Are we fine to take her cone off? Is she going to be fine? Now, the service that we went and had was pretty shit. Not going to lie, it was pretty bad. The way they handled it was not ideal, kept us guessing, didn't answer any questions, just kind of kept us in the dark and did the classic GP thing of, oh, keep an eye on it, come back in a few weeks. If it's not better, then we'll do something about it then. Bloody hate that. It's not helpful to anybody. But what it did do was we had a few questions that he didn't really answer. So we then went and did our own research. And the biggest thing we were concerned about that we brought up is she's got a lump underneath the scarring, underneath the sutures, which we didn't know what it was, right? And after doing some research, completely normal, happens all the time. It's a little bit of swelling from where the sutures on the inside are rubbing together. And the extent of seeing other cats have this, where it's completely normal, is a much worse case than what ours has. So that immediately makes me feel a lot better. And the key things to look out for, swelling, wetness, pus, pain, none of that. Cat's completely back to normal. There's just a scab. And so we're wondering where that came from, what that means, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, not a problem. So why did us paying for the thing, going to the consult, help us even though he didn't give us the answers? It helped us because we wanted to know the answer. And so it put us in the frame of mind, it gave us points of reference to then go out of the way and solve our problem ourselves. So you've got a really interesting one where if you think about like a business opportunity, right? If someone is helping you add a channel, a sales stream to your business or something like that, it is unlikely they're going to do everything for you. It's unlikely because if they were doing that and they guaranteed to add £1 million revenue or something, they'd be charging a lot more, like maybe £250,000 or £500,000 to do that. And you probably didn't pay that. So it's above the service that you would expect. But they give you the template, they give you a community to ask questions, to iterate, to increase the likelihood that you actually do this. That's the biggest difference, right? And so that is where I think paying for something will increase the likelihood that you achieve it, because it's a commitment that you have made to someone else, and we are much more likely to uphold commitments we have made to other people than we are to ourselves. How many times have you said, oh, I'm going to get fit this year, I'm going to get to the gym, I'm going to do this or that, and then, times get tough or busy and you don't? Classic, right? But how many times have you needed to pay rent and you didn't have the money, or you pulled it out your ass, as an example? And the answer to that's way more likely than if someone else, or if it was you trying to pay yourself more, right? Okay, so here's another story I've got for you as to why not paying doesn't increase the likelihood, or rather you're in a less likely band if you don't pay for something. So my company will offer 6 weeks free tutoring to kids, right? It's just an offer to get them through the door. Then they see it, they love it, and they continue. Amazing. We actually ran a completely free 6 weeks. So by completely free, I mean they don't even put a deposit down, which is what we asked for to make sure that people actually show up. And the stay rate after doing that was about 25% of people that we even let in. So there were some people that didn't even show enough commitment to answer our questions and saying, what times can you do, etc., that we were like, do you know what, you can't even have a free space. And So realistically, we're looking at more like 5 to 12% in that region of people stayed on afterwards and achieved, or at least were heading in the direction of achieving their goals. Whereas the people that we still give it for free for, but they put a financial commitment, a deposit down on it, we're looking somewhere between 70 and 90% likelihood because of that external commitment to someone else rather than just to yourself. And so this is really what I'm getting at, is when you go and pay for things, if you're the type of person that's saying, I want to do this, I'm going to pay for it, like you get a PT or something like that. Bro, you would get there without the PT. You're not stupid. All of the resources in the world are available to you, but you aren't. That's the difference. It's the accountability amongst other things. But I think one of the biggest reasons that people don't think about why it does really help is you help them and they help you help yourself, if that makes sense. You're paying them so that you actually help yourself. And they might give you a few tidbits of helpful information here and there that might prompt thoughts or remind you to turn up, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you sort of have to do a lot of the heavy lifting. And that was the situation with the cats, where honestly, GPT is going to be better than this guy who wasn't a vet. He had to go and speak to a vet, didn't know what he was doing. But that's how it goes, right? But in the end, we've got a satisfactory answer that we're happy with and we think things are fine. And we've now got a better plan of action than one provided. And I'm willing to take the risk on my own decision on that. Famous last words, but we'll see what the outcome is of that in a couple of weeks or so. All right, guys, have a great day. Go get after it. Spend some money on something you want to do so you actually end up doing it. All right? Peace.